Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of December the 30th, 2022. How would Alita celebrate New Year's? Where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek, and apparently the only one here at this time. I think Angelus will be here in just a few minutes. But it doesn't matter. I can talk about Alita all day long. So we're good to go with that one. So I see that we have David Alexandra out there. That's pretty cool. Good to have you. And it looks like we got 5 watching right now. That's really good. So, and see, I have invited several other folks, but I think possibly the New Year's might be getting them in terms of their parties or whatever they're doing at this point in time. So, and that's where I would actually do this. That's where I would welcome all of our guests. Well, we don't have any guests right now, so I guess I'll welcome all of you. By the way, anybody that wants to come and join the stream, you want to join into the conversation, here's the link. I'm just putting it in the chat right now. So if you want to come and join the discussion, do so. There's a link, click on it, and I'll bring you into the stream. And if you're a little shy about coming on a live stream, please don't be. We're all friends here. We all like to talk about Alita, and that's what we're going to do. But if all you want to do is come on for like 30 seconds and say, I love Alita and get off, you can do that. You can jump on and stay on with us. Your English doesn't matter. Say I love Alita in your native tongue. That'll work just as good. So anyway, I think you see in the chat that Angelus is taking a quick shower, and we're grateful for that. So, although yeah, we wouldn't know that, I guess, over the internet, I suppose. So anyway, and this will probably be somewhat of a short stream today. I have some folks coming over after a while, and we're going to have a kind of a small party, not anything huge here at my place here. So anyway, well, this is something that I kind of threw together there, but one way Alita might celebrate, or not just Alita, but anybody in Iron City for that matter, or even for that matter in Zalem. And I think all of you know this because everybody celebrates New Year's, I suppose, all over the world. But a countdown to the new year, and right now we're I guess a little bit like maybe 32 hours away from the new year, from 2023, and we got something going there. But Alita would probably in 2063. They would probably celebrate. We've said this a couple of times on a couple of previous streams, like the Thanksgiving stream, which is a U.S. specific holiday, and Christmas, which most of us around the world celebrate. We discussed how Alita would probably celebrate those 2 days or those 2 holidays. And here in the United States, and I think probably in most places around the world, kind of Christmas and New Year's kind of go together, So in other words, you have one weekend, perhaps like this year, Christmas on one weekend, and then New Year's on the next weekend, and kind of everything's laid back for the last 2 weeks of the year, and people are just celebrating maybe, or at least with the hope of a new opportunities, new happenings and that kind of stuff for the new year. And I don't see that being any different 540 years from now. I think probably they would maintain that same tradition. Now, how they would do it would be another story, I guess. You see the fireworks there over that city. Now that, certainly that's not Iron City because there's no lake in the middle of Iron City. But one of the problems they would have probably in Iron City celebrating with these kind of fireworks, where they shoot them up in the air and that sort of thing, would be that, that anything flying in Iron City or above Iron City would be shot down by the Zalem's defense system. and that would include any kind of air-to-air defenses they have on Zalem itself, or the Centurions that would be on the ground that would probably blow them to smithereens when they got up in the air. So it would be hard to imagine that I guess the residents of Iron City would have some kind of fireworks of this nature, because they do fly, in Iron City certainly does not want anything flying around Zalem, so they would probably shoot that down. Another thing, now, even though this is not guns, as they would say, but it is kind of explosives, and probably Zalem would not permit that either. More than likely, because if they're not going to allow guns, they're probably not going to allow fireworks. But there may be some contraband or something like that they may be able to, shoot those fireworks on the ground or something like that, and maybe get away with it. And probably Zalem would be a little more, I guess, tolerant of anything like that on the ground, so especially if it poses no real threat to Zalem itself. Certainly we have seen in the movie, and those of us that have read the manga have seen that that the folks in Zalem, they don't really care what happens too much on the ground. Other than that, the factory keeps sending them supplies up. As far as the inhabitants of Iron City, the citizens of Zalem, they're not going to really care. They really don't. They're kind of it's like a class system, I guess, and they probably view the folks on the ground, or the people that dwell on the ground, as maybe beneath them in standard or something like that. And buenas tardes, Alejandro, ¿cómo está? And I think you're muted there, Alejandro.
Hello, Creek. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, great. Okay, hey, a little army from Bogota, Colombia, in this end of the year, with another great year
Yeah,
with
they
a
can
little
say.
army.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can say "hoka hey" down in Colombia, no problem. So anyway, that's real good. So how you doing, Alejandro? How's everything down there in Bogota?
Oh, well, it's pretty cold in this day, a lot of rain. We have some sunny days, very nice, but the rains comes again. So uh, they say that they're changing every time, good time and bad time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you mentioned cold. It got kind of cold up here last week. We had a snow before Christmas, so we got to have a white Christmas, I guess. And a day before yesterday, we had like 1 foot of snow here in Denver, and I think probably my cohorts up in Arvada, or not Arvada, but yeah, Arvada, and down in Fountain, that would be Do Not Stand By and Lee Lemon. They probably got that snow too, because it was pretty bad. I
Yeah,
guess a mini
sure.
blizzard is what we got.
And
Yeah.
I have heard about
So
Buffalo, for instance, that they are very, very cold with a minus 40 degrees under zero. It's
yeah,
very, very cold. It's terrible.
yeah. Well, we had I guess about 11 below is what we got to Fahrenheit, which is minus 20 Celsius. So it was pretty cold here. So
Oh, I see.
cold enough for us to take precautions, so we don't get burst pipes and stuff like that. So anyway, well, it's good to have you
Sure,
on
you have
again,
to be very careful
Alejandro.
driving.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry?
That's exactly right. So anyway, good to have you on again too. You hadn't made it the last couple of weeks, I guess. So good to have you back, man.
Oh, yes, it's a pity that I could go with you because I had meetings at the same time. So I have to attend people
Yeah.
by internet. So I have uh, crossed my schedule. But anyway, I could hear you after that, and I enjoy very
Yeah.
much your live stream. Very, very good. The last time I like it very much. Sure.
Okay, cool. By the way, Mikey Bike asks, does the Alitaverse have any special boozes? So, I don't know about that. I know there is a scene there in the movie where Vector and Hugo are drinking what I think is bourbon, and I can't recall what the I guess the novelization had, whether they called it bourbon or just whiskey. Well, bourbon is whiskey, but what kind of liquor they had. But I would think so, because as long as humans have been on the earth almost, well, maybe not prehistory, but for the past few thousand years anyway, humans have found a way to kind of kind of imbibe themselves, as they would say, and there's a bar as we know it. Well, you know what, the Kansas bar is kind of like, we would recognize that as a bar, wouldn't we? And you can imagine that a celebration in the Kansas bar would be very similar to any celebration we have today. I mean, that's my thought. What do you think, Alejandro?
Yes, I think so. It's almost the same that in these times, people drinking alcohol, and but the real alcohol, like a whiskey that you mentioned in the meeting with between Hugo and Vector. I remember the manga. Vector mentioned that this liquor was taken from Salem. That's very very special. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. As a matter of
Yes,
fact, you can imagine Vector probably had the best liquor in his cabinets. That's for sure.
yes.
He
And
definitely, he
the
wouldn't have
liquor in
just
the
the.
yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, I know. I mentioned that the liquors in the Kansas bar maybe if there is not so much quality, maybe it's made it in a very manufacturing, not so a very high
Yes.
condition and very
Yes.
manual. Sure,
Yep.
like in the old people in the West in the United States, that anyone
Yeah.
in his house making liquors with the seeds uh, of the vegetables and
Yeah.
fermenting many elements, and I think it's
Yes.
some kind of liquor
Yes.
in that way. Do you think?
Yes, I think so. I mean, humans have been fermenting all kinds of stuff. I mean, even way back when in old England, they were fermenting, making mead, which is kind of, I've had mead. It's not my cup of tea, but literally. But anyway, yeah, but you're right. I think as humans have found a way to, produce stuff like that, I guess that kind of gives them a high or something like this. By the way, David Alexander says, hey, we've been 3 years in the Alita Army now. It's going to be going on 4 here pretty soon, or we are going on 4. And we will continue the fight. And it seems like, I know we've talked about it with Maxie a few times too, is that
Great.
it's really seems like we're going to get that green light next year for the Alita sequel. This is kind of exciting times to be in the Alita Army, I think, because
Sure.
for so long it seemed like that we were being ignored or something like that, and they weren't thinking about us. But all this time, James Cameron and John Landau and Rosa, they knew we were here, and I think they're appreciative of us. So yeah, I think you're right, David. I think we're going to continue to fight, and it looks like we're going to get what we want next year in terms of a green light. So there's Angelus out there. Angelus, hopefully you're out of the shower. So, maybe get him in here. Ah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
there goes your
sorry,
phone
the phone
there.
call here.
That's all right. That's okay. That's okay.
Well,
So
I like
anyway,
it
yeah, I
very
think,
much. I would like to mention, Greek, that I like it very much. Your video about John Landau, an interview talking about the act of Alira Army in the sequel that he checked in the L.A. Times when he returned from New
yeah,
Zealand. I was
Yeah.
very proud of your work and all your very hard work for to collect the money and to pay that and to show to the world that we are ready and we are expecting the sequel of the films. I think it's a very
Yes.
highlight point. Very good, great, congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate it. It wasn't just me. There were three or four of us that had our hands in that. And I know the creek put a significant amount of change in there myself. In terms of the money. But the Alita Army is really, really generous in that regard. They definitely they put the money out there when we want to either help somebody or we want to promote the Alita sequel or something like that. They do their thing. So I think everybody in the Elite Army deserves kudos on that for that matter. So
Yes.
yeah, Mikey Mike says he wants to start making Alita videos. You bet, Mikey. Go for it, man. And if anybody out there wants to do any streaming, you stream to your channel, invite me. I'll come on, and we'll talk about Alita. It's not a problem. The more people we get talking about Alita, the more we keep that thing current. So folks don't forget about us. And Mikey Alejandro is not from Brazil; he's from Colombia. I
Right.
think Colombia they speak Spanish, and in Brazil they speak Portuguese, so it's a little bit different. So yeah.
That's correct.
So anyway, what's your take on I guess a Iron City celebration of New Year's? I mean, we talked a little bit about how they wouldn't probably be shooting fireworks like they'd be doing there because everything that flies gets shot down. So, but what do you think they do on the ground? What kind of celebrations do you think they would have?
I would think that it's very quiet celebration, maybe only in some at the homes with some people with family tendencies, or maybe another that they are singles or looking for couples, maybe in places like a Kansas bar,
Yeah,
drinking liquors and having fun. I think,
yeah,
but there is
yeah,
another. It's very difficult to demonstrate the joy, making noises or different to motorball. I think it's very strict conditions to show the joy, making a lot of noise and making another kind of celebrations. I think.
yeah. It's kind of like in the novelization how they said you keep the masses happy with bread and circuses. So I think they would permit some fireworks on the ground. Maybe they might. They would not be very tolerant of any rockets or anything like that because that like say that flies. They would shoot that down probably. Uh, Probably festivals, don't you think? I mean, they would probably hold festivals on New Year's Eve, and that would carry all the way, all day, all the way into the next day, maybe even through the next day. They might do something like that. So,
But maybe some special day with a special permission from centurions, but because I think that they are checking any kind of explosions of noise and they
yes,
shoot first and then ask what happened. So I think it's very dangerous for people who made fireworks because he could be killed by the centurions or anti warriors looking people making noises. So I think
yeah,
it's a very strict schedule to allow some celebration in very special dates.
yeah, I think so. I think it would be mostly like festivals and parties, is what I think it would be. Because if they're going to party in the Kansas bar, there's other bars in Iron City that would people would be going to be drinking and celebrating the coming of the new year. I think so that's kind of the way my take on it. So
Or
what
maybe
about in Zolom? Oh, go ahead.
in Fallen, I think it's a very different condition. They have all the doors open to celebrate in any way they want. I think it's very open. It's
Yeah,
a very high quality, very high society. There is no restrictions. I think people feel free to do anything they want. I think.
Yeah, we don't know much about Zalem, do we, except from the manga, and that the way they put it together in the movie and the manga might be slightly different, because I think in Zalem that I think the toleration for fireworks may be a little more lax, perhaps. I don't know. I could see maybe the government on Zalem doing a very special fireworks display. If you go to some gated communities, they'll have like a fireworks display, for the residents, and it's all done by professionals and that kind of thing. So I think probably Zalem might do something like that, and they shoot fireworks up in the air from Zalem, and
Yes.
certainly people from all around would be able to see it, and you wouldn't have the problem with the Centurions and the air and the defense system, shooting things, in midair or something like that. So I think Zala might do something like that, and then of course the people on the ground would see it and they would get benefit of it too, I think.
Sure, I think so. I agree with you.
Yeah, but yeah, I kind of agree with you in terms on Iron City itself. I don't think they would tolerate too much. I mean, you may get some black market explosives on the ground somewhere, but the people that would set those off better get out of the way, or better get out there pretty fast after they do it, because like you say, the Centurions are going to hunt them down, if they do that, because they're going to perceive it as a threat to Zalem. So
Sure. I think that the only
yeah,
the possibility to have some fireworks also in a very special condition for motorball for the championship, for instance, for the last fight between, for instance, Alita and Yashugan. Maybe they can have some very strong fan to want to show the joy and the very special moment doing fireworks.
yeah.
I think maybe in that condition, like in a stadium in the United States, doing that kind of celebration, that fireworks is very common, right?
Yeah, I think so. But before we go much further, I want to welcome Angelus, who just jumped out of the shower, more than likely, and he is definitely from Brisbane and Queensland, Australia. How's it going, Angelus? Good day, mate.
Hoka hey, Alita Army.
yeah, they can say okay in Australia too. Yeah,
Oh, hello,
they
Angelo.
certainly can.
When's the last time you ever heard of Zalem doing anything for the people below?
Never. But
They'll
they
probably
might
just
do it
like
on New Year's.
they'll probably host motorball / arena match, depending on which
Yeah,
division you're from. But
yeah.
they won't be spending any
Well,
money on it.
no, I don't think so. And they wouldn't be doing, if they shot fireworks from Zalem, they wouldn't be doing it for the pleasure of the people on the ground. It'd be just for the people in Zalem. But of course, the people on the ground would still see the fireworks, so they'd get some benefit out of it. But it would be secondary, I think, because I agree with you that Zalem, they don't care that much for the people on the ground. That's why nobody ever goes up there, because they don't want them up there. It's like they feel like they're a class below them or something like that. And to your point, Alejandro, or it might have been Angelus that brought this. I know that in the U.S. on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we have football games, American football games, and they just what we call college football, which is going to be where universities play, colleges play each other, and they have what they call bowl games, in which the best teams, for that year, they all play each other, in different games. And on New Year's, it's the same thing. Pro football in this case this year is going to have some games going on Sunday, which would be Monday and down under. But you know, we typically in the U.S. we schedule sporting events too for people to watch, and that would probably happen in Iron City. They'd probably have a special motorball match or something like that, which I think that's coming up. I think here in a few minutes. So, you guys do something like that, Alejandro, in Colombia? Do you guys have maybe a football match there, maybe soccer, in other words, matches on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
Oh yes, sure. People like very much the fireworks here. In Spanish, we call pólvora, like
Okay.
talking about the material that the fireworks is done, and people like it very much. It's a very old tradition in that kind of celebration, like Christmas and New Year's, and as
Okay.
special my sport match doing fireworks. It's prohibited for anyone here, only for experts, but people like to do it by himself in everywhere they can. And for that reason, there is a lot of people burned with fireworks here, maybe we have in this year more
Yeah,
than
yeah,
100 people burned. It's terrible because these
yeah,
people doesn't know how
yeah,
to work bad, so it's very dangerous. But people enjoy making noise and making nice lights with fireworks every time.
yeah. They do. Yeah, they do. What about Angelus? What about down there in Straya? What do you guys do down there? Do you have sporting events? Of course, well, I think we have a slide coming up on that. But is there any special things down there that you guys do on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
Nothing beyond the usual fireworks. Maybe the odd fuel dump and burn from our fighter jets in the Air Force. Pretty much.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I
Like
think
it
we do that here
back when it
too.
was in service, we used to have an aircraft called the F-111, and that
Hmm.
that was our Air Force's backbone for like about 20 plus years until we upgraded to the FA-18 Hornets, which is the aircraft. Funnily enough, is the same aircraft same model of aircraft that's flown in Top Gun Maverick, and
Yep.
and essentially, I mean, both aircraft can dump and burn, but once the F-111 was phased out, the FA-18 Hornets came in to do the dump and burn. They'd fly in, they'd pass a point, and then they'd, as the name suggests, dump the fuel as it's accelerating again, and that's what sort of creates like a bit of a flame effect
Yeah,
coming
that's
in
right.
from the rear of the engines. And I mean,
And
I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure various Air Force shows, all around the US and pretty much even all around the world,
yep.
have some form of that display.
Yeah, we do something like that here, not just on New Year's, but or during other times of years. We have two special flight teams. One's in the U.S. Navy and the other's in the U.S. Air Force. One of the U.S. Navy, they have a group called the Blue Angels that do a lot of trick flying and stuff like that. I don't know if they do dump and burns or not. They might. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing for them to do, I think. And then in the Air Force, they have what's called the Thunderbirds, and they're a similar type of air demonstration team, where they fly at air shows and stuff like that. So,
who would you have to kiss ass to? Let's face it, we'll probably have to get to that stage. Who would you have to kiss ass to, whether it be a wing commander or a senator or politician of some kind, to one time only, have, instead of them calling them the Blue Angels, call them the Battle Angels? How fucking awesome would that
yeah.
be? And
Oh,
have
yeah,
them
it
all
would be awesome, wouldn't it?
one time only,
Have Alita.
paint them
Yeah.
gunmetal gray or /purple / Alita colors.
Yeah, and Yeah, and have Alita on the side, on the fuselage or something, that would be kind of cool, kind of like they did, like Elon Musk did on that rocket, that he tweeted out some years ago about two. Yeah, that would be awesome. Holy mackerel! And I don't know whose bell you would have to ring to make that happen. I maybe the CEO of the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds might do it, and they would have to get permission probably from the Department of Defense more than likely. I have no idea really, how they would do that, but that would be freaking awesome,
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if I can. I'll look for the picture, but like it might actually be on my phone, so I'll send it to you in a DM. But
chat.
like they've got
DM, brother, yeah.
What was it? I think I might have actually gotten from Challenger ST, where he sent me or he tweeted out like a photo edit of A10 Warthog, but it's painted up in Alita's Berserker colors.
Oh, nice. God, that'd be awesome. That A10, what's amazing, not to get too far off topic here, but the joke in the Navy about the A10, they call it the Warthog, and the joke is it only has 3 moving parts. That's because it's really a durable plane too. That thing is, and I think they've upgraded it recently too. That's even more potent than it was before, and it was pretty damn potent to begin with, So, but yeah, the joke is the A10 only has 3 moving parts.
From like my very limited knowledge, even back then, like the impression that I got is that it only ever like could fulfill maybe a select few roles, but like it could do like 1 to 2 roles, but it did it like no other plane could surpass it unless it was like a fucking like stealth craft F-33 Raptors bullshit or something. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah, like the F-19 stealth fighter, which is really a bomber, but they call it a stealth fighter, whatever. Or F-117 is what the Air Force calls it. Yeah, stealth aircraft. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. The A-10, not to get too far away here from Alita, but the A-10 is basically like an anti-tank, anti-personnel, type of, air to ground type of weapon. I mean, it like you're right, it's extremely potent. That thing is durable, boy. I mean, that thing can take hits and keep flying. But anyway, that's another story.
Well, once you keep on going, but this picture will quite literally make it Alita related once I find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll put it in the DM and I'll share it.
But yeah, so that's basically our celebration. Is fireworks and like a bit of aircraft display. Oh, found it, and I'll be in Twitter DMs as well.
Okay. Once it gets over there, I'll share it. And Alejandro and I were talking about probably in Iron City, they might not do fireworks like you see there, but they probably would have like festivals and parties at different bars and stuff like that. They might do some kind of bar crawl, from bar to bar. They might do something like that, on New Year's, to celebrate and kind of welcome in the new year, because it signifies or symbolizes new hope and stuff like that. And let's face it, the people in Iron City don't have a lot of hope, that's for sure. So, okay, Angelus assumes, oh, there it is. Okay, let me pull that bad boy up. Let's see if I can get that guy.
Let me comment something, Creek.
Okay.
Talking about the avatar of Angelus that is taken from a very special videos of Rosa in the college humor videos in internet that you can find. They are very, very funny. They're so
Yeah.
very interesting. I like it
Yes.
very much. And I think for
Yes.
this kind of celebration, the joy is very, very important and very interesting because
Yes.
it's the way that express the love for life and the love for joy that Alita and Rosa impress in the characters of he interprets in cinema
Yeah.
and TV series. So I think really great.
Yeah. Well, I know College Humor. I think that's the only show or whatever that Rosa did that had Audrey Plaza in it. Also, I think she was in College Humor. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've seen some of those episodes. They're funny. That's for sure. Yeah, and Rosa, even way back then, she was great. You know, of course, the Creek thinks Rosa's great. So, I mean, that's sorry about my bias there, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, that's an A10 warthog right here, and I love it. It's got on the on the side there. I love that. You know. Let me welcome Lee down there from Fountain, Colorado. How's it going there, Lee?
Not too bad. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. You know, we're not very organized here. That's for sure. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, well, one of the things we were talking about, maybe you can help us out here too, Lee, because I mean, I worked for DOD for probably 20 odd years, 25 years even, and you were actually in the Air Force, so you might know a little bit more about some of the things that they do in air shows. Maybe the Thunderbirds, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with them about what they would do in a, say, air demonstration show or something like that? Do they do something like that for New Year's, and do they do dump and burns and stuff like that?
I'm not sure if I ever saw them do anything like that for like New Year's or something. Usually it was for a specific air show of some sort, or maybe some sort of demonstration they're doing over a parade or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
It's been
or maybe a
years
football
since I've
game or
even
something.
seen. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I don't recall them or the Blue Angels. I never recall them doing anything for New Year's. One reason I think is because in the U.S., New Year's is New Year's Eve, or rather New Year's Day is a federal holiday. So you know they usually don't do a lot there. You know, I mean, most folks in the military or in civil service are all off that day. You know, except for those that are necessary for national defense, of course. But yeah. Boy, I like that picture though. That's cool, Angelus. Yeah, that. Yeah, the Berserker Battle Hog. I love it, man. That's great. It'd be neat if they had a picture of Alita somewhere on there, because you don't really see that anywhere. I don't see where that is. But it definitely has on it, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how accurate the actual thingo is. Like, I mean, it does have the basic design of a warthog, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they embellished it or not, or they just did a paint job, so to speak.
Looked like it was just a paint job.
Yeah. So that's not Photoshop then, right? That was an actual what they did to the plane, right?
Basically, they did an Elon Musk, if you want to call it that.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it was
Alita on the
photoshopped,
rocket.
but it was just the design on it. They didn't seem to mess with the actual aircraft configuration.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is a kind of a berserker airplane fight combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is a real airplane. I mean, like I say, it's called the Warthog, is what the name of it.
Well, that's the
calls it,
nickname.
the
It's
Warthog.
the official
Yeah, the
designation is the
nickname, yeah, that's
A-10
right.
Thunderbolt 2.
Thunderbolt, that's right, yeah. And I was
completely
telling Lee, you
forgot about
probably
that.
remember this, that the joke about the A-10 is only has 3 moving parts. So I remember hearing that, and I went, "What? How can an airplane fly with only 3 moving parts?"
Well, I remember a interview
But-
that they had with one of the pilots from, I think it was the Iraq War, and he flew his plane back, and it was missing. I think he was missing half his plane, basically. Most of the tail was gone.
Yeah.
One wing was pretty much gone. And when they interviewed him, and asked him like if he had realized he'd even gotten hit, and he said, "Yeah, well, I felt the plane shake, so I must have got hit by something." But otherwise he didn't even really notice.
Yeah, well, those things, like I was saying, is really durable. I mean, those things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to shoot one of those things down, And like I was saying, I don't want to get too much into this because we're away from Alita, but they've upgraded that thing here recently too, and that's going to make it even more fair. More terror. It's going to be more of a strike terror in the hearts of enemies or something like that, I guess. Yep. So anyway,
I thought you said you were going to take it. You just said that we were starting to stray away from Alita, and all of a sudden you said something that is describing Alita. Striking
no.
terror.
We're not going to go away. We're not. Yeah. Well, Alita would strike terror in your heart if she was mad at you. That's for sure.
Terror on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, that's that. Now, one thing I know and we do this. This is, I guess Americans like to eat. That doesn't matter, not just North Americans either, right, Alejandro? It's even South Americans, they like to eat too. So we all like to eat in North, Central, and South America, So I know here in the U.S., just like we showed at Thanksgiving and at Christmas, we have big family get-togethers, on Christmas Day or New Year's or Thanksgiving Day, that kind of thing. And we have a big meal, And of course, the relatives to be in families can be big and diverse. Of course, that's when, sometimes fights break out and stuff like that because, some people have different political or religious or even over sports teams arguments and stuff like that. We fuss and fight, but, it's all a family thing, But in the U.S., we have like a big meal, on Christmas and on New Year's Day. We'll do this, And one of the traditions here in the U.S., at least down in the southeastern U.S., is they'll cook what's called black-eyed peas, and they'll put a dime in there, and the person that gets the dime gets to keep it. That's all I know about that, And people are always trying to find the dime, that's in the black-eyed peas, So I don't know if any of you have heard of that custom or not, but that's primarily down in the southeast, I think. So they don't do that out here in Colorado, do they, Lee? Do you know?
I have never heard of it until you just mentioned it. That's a new one on me.
Wow. So I guess they don't do it here in Colorado. So anyway, Alejandro, did they do something like this in Colombia? Do you guys like on big holidays like this, not just New Year's, but others? Do you have big family get-togethers like that, and people have a meal and stuff, eat turkey or whatever they want to eat? I mean, is that kind of something you do there as well?
Oh yeah, sure. We enjoy very much some very Colombian food, a very special soup of potatoes that we call ajiaco. Is very common and very popular and very old kind of food that from the Indian traditions and that people enjoy very much. And also there are people who like a more international plates like chicken or fish or another kind of proteins like that, but a very international plates. The point is that it's more than a familiar. It's you call to your friends or maybe some people in the neighborhood because it's more social celebration because you want to share your joy for something new that is going to happen and saying goodbye to the old things and the bad things that happen in the year that is ending. So this is more wide feelings going from the family and to the neighbors and to the friends people close by that you enjoy giving say hello to the new year.
Yeah, that's what we do here in the U.S. Very similar. What about you, Angelus? What do they do down there in Straya?
For what, New Year's or Christmas or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Or well, New Year's, or it could be Christmas. Having like a family meal or something. Do you guys do that down there too, down under?
Well, that's pretty much all we do. Like, I guess in the sense, even the Americans over here, like, they will get into the festive spirit of, like, say, Halloween. Some might
Yeah.
go, like, even go as far as trick or treating, within the local street, and that's about it. And like,
Ah,
we'd give little bits of candy and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
but we'd primarily just use it as an excuse to just, have a
Drink.
party, eat food, and drink. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome aboard, Chaos Nova from
Hello.
Mentor, Ohio.
Hi there.
How's it going, man?
All right. Busy week, but it's all right.
Yeah, you guys probably got the worst part of that blizzard we had, huh?
Oh no, the worst was in
You got
Buffalo, New York, but there was a huge cars being flipped over on the highway. It's like it's a slow motion wreck. But most of the people
Yeah, I saw that.
who lost their lives is in Buffalo, New York.
Wow. Yeah, we had, like I was mentioning earlier on, that we had, Maxie says, you think Australians need an excuse to drink? No, not really, Maxie. I don't think so. But yeah, we got, like I was saying here a while back the other day, we got like a foot of snow, and it was day before yesterday. And yeah, there are cars even today still on the side of the road, it slid off the road, and there's the cars still there, so off the interstate, or the motorway, as you would call them, I guess. But yeah, we got it pretty bad here, but nothing like they did in Buffalo, that's for sure. So, okay, I guess, I think a big meal, big family meal is probably pretty common. And yes, Maxie, in the U.S., we drink also. So we don't need an excuse to drink here either, although the creek doesn't really drink that much. So anymore, in my youth. So
Got another one.
But
for
you can see there, Elite. Oh, what is that? Another
DM.
DM? Yeah,
And it's
let's
sort
see,
of
where is
relevant
it?
both in the celebration and drinking context.
Okay.
And I'm sure Max
oh,
will
there it
agree with
is.
me too.
Yeah.
Max Tack, get ready for when it pops up.
Yeah, let me expand that guy. Oh, it's got Jennifer Aniston on it. I like that. It's from that movie, The Millers. I like that. I just pull that guy up. There it is, folks. Australia, you guys have a drinking age? Yeah, we do. We sure do. And it varies from state to state a lot of times too, sometimes anyway. But so Angelus, you don't have a drinking age in Australia?
We do, but it's only outside of the home, I guess. Out in the pub. Yeah, that's our slang term for a club or a drinking bar.
Yeah, pub. Yeah, we have pubs here. Most definitely.
So yeah, like I said, going back to the original topic of our celebrations, when I said that whether it be for Christmas, New Year's, or for any other holiday, whether it be US or otherwise, that are celebrated by those particular citizens that have migrated over to Australia, whether it be Halloween or Thanksgiving, it's pretty much just another excuse to, have a barbecue, have a day off, have a drink, and something to eat and something more to drink.
Yeah, that's right. Finestro says he ate too much. He was in Italy, I guess. Yeah, I think we all eat too much. I think Finestro on particularly on Christmas we do eat too much. So it is what it is. I guess we do that at Christmas and Thanksgiving in the U.S. So it's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, now we were talking about this a while ago. In the U.S., particularly on New Year's Eve and New Year's, we have a lot of American football games that get played on those 2 days. This year, a lot of the college, because since New Year's Day falls on Sunday here in the U.S., we had most of our college bowl games are on New Year's Eve this year. I think we had some today. We have a lot more tomorrow, and on Sunday, certainly is going to be pro football. So this is kind of a tradition here in the U.S. I mean, it seems like when a holiday comes up, like this, then there's going to be a sporting event. As an example, like in baseball, as an example, now that's in the summer here, which is in July. They have a July the 4th is our, that's our, I guess, Independence Day or something like that, when we declared our independence from jolly old England, and the American Revolution was fought around, or the day that's commemorated is July the 4th. Now the baseball all-star game is not on July the 4th so much, but it's kind of around that area, so we do have a lot of sporting events on these various holidays, and particularly on New Year's. Though New Year's, there's a lot of college football and pro football games, and we watch them. So I can imagine that, and we've talked about this on a couple other streams where we talked about how Alita would celebrate holidays, but I can imagine that in the year 2563, that where they're going to the New Year's to 2564, I can imagine there being like a really big time motorball match, where, everybody, after they had their New Year's Day dinner or whatever it is, however they celebrate, then they watch motorball, And that'd be kind of a cool thing, I think, is when we do get that sequel, that's one of the things they do on New Year's Day for 2564, Alita playing against Joshigan. That would be kind of neat, I think.
And the good news is
anyway, thoughts, guys?
A couple channels, as a side thing to mention, Avatar 2 did mention Alita again. One of them was, I believe, Clownfish TV. Clownfish TV and a few others.
Nice. It's coming, folks. It's coming. It seems like it's getting closer and closer, Maxie has been saying all along, we're going to have it. His faith has been like a mountain, he's yep, we're going to get it. We're going to get it, So yeah, we are going to get it. That's for sure. So what do you think, Alejandro? What do you think about Alita watching motorball? How does that compare with, say, in Colombia, you guys watching soccer or something like that, or what you call football?
Oh yes, sure. But I would like to say that I distinguish some condition special, because, for instance, if they going to celebrate the New Year in the time that Alita is in her doll body, I think it's going to be a conflict between the Alita's joy, how to enjoy watching horrible players, and the prohibition of Dr. Ito when he mentioned at the beginning of the film, nothing you need to waste your time watching. Some phrase like that. I think it could be a very, very strong conflict between them in that part of the film, if they celebrate the New Year in that moment when Ito wants to conduct Alita in the right way, very far away from the moral players, because of the conflict of the tragedy of her daughter and all the stuff that happened in that moment. After that, I think as we mentioned in the early time in this live stream, I think Ito goes to the stadium and enjoy very much and having support to Alita in the fight with Yashugan and the very big fights in the marble with fireworks and with all the people making a lot of noise and supporting Alita and the other people supporting Yachugan and going to check who's going to win that really big fight. I think it's going
Yeah.
in the same way that the film and the manga too. I think.
Yeah. It'd be kind of interesting because in the mangas, Ito is really, I guess he's Joshigan's tuner, I guess, or not his tuner, but at least his doctor, I guess you could say. So he's kind of on Joshigan's side, and Alita has got Ed, Ed and Umba, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they pull that off in the sequel, because I think that would be another little piece of drama that would add to the story if they write that into the sequel, about how Alita and Ito have had maybe a little bit of a falling out, or maybe just naturally she's maybe Ito's stepdaughter, perhaps, or adopted daughter, perhaps, and and just naturally, well, I want to move out, Dad. I want to get my own apartment or something like that, And then, of course, Ito may want her to come back, and she says, "No, I don't want to come back." And so he says, "Okay, right, I'm gonna go get on Joshigan's team, and I'm gonna make you jealous." Basically, would be his thought, So that'd be kind of interesting to see them pull something like that off, in the sequel. I think, especially when she's competing against Joshigan, it'd be kind of neat. I think it'd be a neat thing. So.
Yes, because in this fight, I think Dr. Ito have a very strong conflict in her heart because, as you mentioned, he's a tuner for Yachugan, but she wants to recover Alita. She wants to Alita lose the fight because he wants to recover her to his home, to the clinic. But in the deep feeling of her heart, I think he always wants she wants against Yachugan. I think it's very complex this situation for him.
I agree. It would be a complex situation, which would work perfect in the sequel. I think that's what I'd like to see anyway. See how they work it out, because they're going to reconcile if that happens. Because I think Alita and Ito do love each other, and at least in a father to daughter type relationship, in the movie. And the manga, it's a little different in the beginning. It's kind of creepy, but so. Anyway, Angelus, what do you think? How does this relate to any sporting events you guys might do down there and down under in Straya?
Sorry, the mic's
That's right. That's okay.
Annoying. If we did have one, it'd be used as an excuse to make
Drink.
up drinking games.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a shot every time the umpire of a cricket match, like shakes his head saying no, it's not out, because you only get 10 balls every cricket match, and then once you run out of balls or wickets as they're called, your half of the game over, or that's your batting game over. So every time that happens, he puts up his hand, holds up a finger, says, "Yep, you're out of here." And obviously that will only ever happen 10 times, but every time they might think, "Oh yeah, he's out," and then he turns around to the umpire and goes, shakes his head, and take a shot. Or what's another one? Take a shot for every tackle in a rugby match, and there's quite a lot of tackles, if you can imagine. So
it's summer there, isn't it?
Yes.
You guys are in summer, aren't you? Yeah. So I guess cricket, I guess, is what you guys play in the summertime, right?
Cricket, tennis is another one because I know the Australian
Yeah.
Open, I think is like anywhere between
Yeah.
the January to March sort of era.
Yeah.
Or even using tennis as an example, every time, and here's a good one, every time a female player like grunts or yells every time they hit the ball, as some of them quite often do, take a shot, and then
Yeah.
you pretty much don't have a liver by the end of the match. But
Yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah, but the last person standing wins, right? That's the way it works, I guess. Yeah, I tell you, in terms of tennis, Rod Laver, these are old tennis players from the 50s and 60s, but Rod Laver and John Newcomb were two of my favorite tennis players way back in the day. You know, those guys were tennis, you know, I think back then, you know, so of course.
Well, I know
now,
of them, but I think the earliest match that I've ever seen would be for Australia specifically, Pat Cash, I think. Wasn't he Aussie? I can't remember.
Yes, he was an
and,
Aussie, yeah.
What's the other dude that, you know, he's fucking famous for? McEnroe. Obviously, everyone's heard. Probably seen a few matches of McEnroe. John McEnroe.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Yeah, John McEnroe. He was big in the '80s, I think. So he and Bjorn Borg used to have some really interesting matches. Two completely different styles, you know. So anyway, but cricket though would be the team sport you guys would watch, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because football season would be not existent, like that wouldn't start until March. I think soccer runs like more or less like concurrently, and we really don't have too much of a basketball scene, so
yeah. Well, y'all play baseball down there too, don't you?
Oh, we probably do, but again, even less so. Like, we also play a game called netball. Again, that's not really celebrated as much. AFL is the other sort of football game.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
That's probably
I enjoyed it. I you know.
Yeah, it's probably the closest in terms of physicality to motorball, actually. Because
I think so.
it can get quite rough and quite airborne too.
Yeah, that's right. So
let's
see. Chaos says,
a lot of tennis
have we already
now
talked about New Year's Day? What's that, Alejandro?
Oh yes, I mentioned that in this time it's very, very popular tennis in this time in Australia because they are preparing for the Australian Open in the beginning of the year. So there are more people very interested to playing there, and there are some kind of motorboard tennis players there because there are a lot of people, and they have the planet depending on what's going to happen and who's going to win in this next Open. This is very, very popular and very famous.
Yeah. Chaos, just to mention, you had asked if we already talked about college football games. We kind of briefly did it, but, you know, we're saving most of it for here. But what I did mention back there, and of course, I bet you're an Ohio State Buckeye fan. That'd be my guess. But anyway, on the New Year's Eve tomorrow for us, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. You know, we got two we're going to have a lot of different football games tomorrow, but two of them are really important in college sports. And that would be, we have the semifinals for the national championship, you know, and it's the University of Georgia and Ohio State's playing each other. And then Michigan's playing Texas Christian University. So that'll be pretty interesting, I think. and they're back to back. So yeah, we haven't really talked about it specifics too much there. Chaos. You got anything you want to add to that?
Oh, I'm just saying that's a sporting event in the United States during New Year's Day. Is all this big semifinals for the collegiate football games.
Yeah,
American football, that is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Are you an Ohio State fan, Chaos?
What?
Are you an Ohio State Buckeye fan?
I guess so. I lived there long enough.
Well, you live in Ohio. That's the only reason I ask. So
Well, I'm
anyway,
wearing the shirts for it now, so I guess that's official.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a bit south from you, Columbus is. So anyway, but you know, who knows? So we're going to do a watch party for the new year. We hadn't planned on it there, Finestro. Why? Is that something you'd like to see us do? I think my brother and I are going to go watch Avatar: Way of Water on Sunday. I haven't been able to go yet because of I had to take care of my dog in his final days, and I couldn't break away, you know. So anyway, probably I don't know. What do you think, Angelus? I think maybe a watch party would be kind of neat. I think
Worst case scenario, something that we can easily throw together too, because there's going to be quite a bit of news to go through. I mean,
so.
pretty much there always will be, because as I keep on professing on Twitter, and there's like a solid truth behind it, but I always think of Avatar as the big brother to Alita, and
that's right.
Avatar's basically punching holes and paving the way so that the little sister can have her time to shine, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think on Radio Chaos, correct me if I'm wrong, Maxie, if you're still out there, but I think we're going to do a watch party sometime. Yeah, coming up. Yeah, Chaos is right. I think in January 7th, or at least at the very least, that we had talked at one time about it being around.
I had to change it with emergency, but I'll get the thing.
Yeah. Okay. No, he's not dropping hints, I don't think, Maxie. But I think around Valentine's Day, I think we would talked about maybe doing one, but that'd be on Radio Chaos, I think. So I think we talked about it one time. I don't know what Maxie's got planned there, though. So, I don't want to speak for him too much, because I know Valentine's Day's on Tuesday this year in the U.S., Wednesday, and on the other side of the international date line, as they would say. So I guess, sports is going to be a big deal, on New Year's Day, particularly here in the U.S. Sounds like it's going to be a big deal there in Colombia. And Angelus says, well, if there's drinking games, it'll be a big deal in Australia. So is that right, Angelus? Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, that probably would be, you're right, Angelus. That probably would be mostly, well, I don't know, Finestro. If we do if Chaos is going to do a watch party on 7th or 13th, is it Chaos? Whatever.
The 7th.
It would be okay. So Chaos is going to do a watch party. So why don't we just, instead of us doing one here on this stream or on on the Radio Chaos stream, let's go and let me put that link in the chat. Is this the YouTube link you got here?
First one is StreamYard, second YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put the YouTube link in there so folks can see it. So anyway, here's the link for Chaos's watch party for Alita Battle Angel. So and that could be. Did you say on the 13th or the 7th? There, Chaos.
The 7th.
Okay, the 7th. Okay, so that'd be on Saturday. So anyway, is that going to be before or after the Radio Chaos stream? Have to be after, I would guess. Well, anyway, there it is. We can jump on that. I'll jump on that, Chaos, at least for a while. I definitely, anytime I get a chance to watch Alita, I'm going to do it. So I will definitely jump on that. PM. So 5 p.m. That's Central, right?
Ooh, Eastern Standard. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 4 p.m. Yeah, that'd be cutting it pretty close to Radio Chaos. But okay, there it is. You got the link there, everybody. Let me save that. I want to save that link. Let me just give me a couple of seconds, folks. I want to save this. All right, I got it. Okay, any other thoughts here about watching sports on New Year's Day? Anybody? And that, yeah, Chaos is right. That's going to be on January the 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah, I might be a little late for that one, Chaos, because I may be doing let's see, January 7th. I'm doing the stream tomorrow, so I guess Tony would be on it. So, but I'm still going to. I'll be there, but I'll be a little late, I think.
It's all right.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we kind of talked about this, on another stream. Parades, certainly, festivals, that kind of stuff would be something that we would see in Iron City. I think we would see fireworks on Zalem, where they'd shoot them off, out, away from Zalem, and they would be a government operated type thing, because they wouldn't want any citizens, not even in Zalem, to get a hold of explosives. So that's that's something that they're pretty keen on kind of controlling, I guess, there in Zalem, but I mean, parades certainly. I think that parade on the left there, where you see Charlie Brown with that football, I think that's the New Year's Eve parade, but I'm not real sure about that, but they have parades frequently in New York, for different holidays. So it's not unusual there. And of course, fireworks can happen. And as you see that down there in the lower part of that frame, that's in Australia. That's in Sydney, actually. So Maxie, you would know all about that, wouldn't you? Since Maxie lives close to Sydney anyway, a little north of it, I think. Or am I right, Maxie? There's Maxie. He can tell us how far.
Somebody said my name 3 times and I got summoned, you bastards.
Yeah, that's right. That's like that movie Beetlejuice. Huh?
Maxi pad.
Yeah, there he is. So how is it down there in New South Wales?
Oh, it's vaguely summer. It's not really hot enough.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only 23 degrees.
Well, you're quite a bit south of Angeles, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I wasn't last week. In fact, I felt
Not
really
far
stupid.
south enough, but
I felt really stupid. I was only 200 kilometers away from the guy, and I should have organized a day to go up and visit him, but I just completely failed to think about it until it was too late.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, I got a lot more free time after today. Today's my last day working for somebody else, at least.
That's
on a
right,
regular
Maxie.
Basis,
I should have said if you can make the trip, even for like just to chuck back a beer and have a bit of a yarn, I would have shut up about pineapple pizza until the New Year's or something like that. But I didn't think of that. So.
Well, that would have sweetened the deal, wouldn't it?
Sweeten the deal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, you guys wait till the creek gets down there.
Oh, I'll have to break my.
I'm not the drinker
I'll have to break
my drinker I used to be.
I'll have to leap off the wagon and into the pub.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why does Charlie Brown look like he's like one of the AFL clubs? That's what is it? They have those colors too, but I forget what club it is.
Well, he certainly
might even
doesn't
be
have
an
The
any,
Hawks. It's
pads
the
on
Hawks.
Hawks, yeah.
Well, he doesn't have any
Yeah.
pads on him, so that would have to be more like Aussie rules football as opposed to American football. American football, they have a helmet and pads. So
All right, so I'm just going to share my screen for like about 10 seconds.
okay.
But
Sure.
until Creaky presses the accept button, everyone take a close look at what Charlie Brown's wearing. And then basically when my screen comes up, you see what I mean? And that's the uniform for the Hawks. Or a AFL team anyway. So the color scheme is like spot on. And then obviously just the actual design itself. The stripes up and down versus the like this the side stripe or the side zigzag,
the
or
zigzagging
whatever
stripe.
it is. Yeah.
Well, Pants has been around for a long time, and I think unbelievable. I'm actually spacing on his name. Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
He's actually had those colors ever since I can remember, when I was like just a little kid.
Hey, well, he's wore the same clothes every day, so
yeah, like
God,
most animated characters, he never
gotta be
changes his
getting
clothes.
That's right.
Something that
Boy,
didn't
those things
happen in
gotta
the
be getting
movie.
dirty by now.
Mm.
Well, the movie was only like 2 or 3 days, although Alita changed her clothes.
That's what I'm saying. I like used that as a segue to bring it back to Alita, and I said that. Well, I mean, they changed the clothes for Alita, and you know that's a bit of a nice touch as well. Like it prevented things from becoming too like monotone, basically. I mean, they somehow made Iron City dark and bright at the same time, so. You know, and to be fair, I can understand the debate / argument that some more manga purists might say, "Oh, but Iron City is meant to be a dark, desolate place," and you know, at times there were. I mean, just look at the point when Romo killed the black female victim.
Actually, I think that was Nisiana that did that. Yeah, the blade that came up to attack her looked like one of her mantis blades.
One of her blades. Yeah, that's right.
Could be either or, really, when you think about it.
Looks like Finestro wants to come to Australia for his birthday. So anyway, that'd be kind of cool. Finestro, probably I'll go ahead and sign him up for this. Angelus or Maxie will buy you a beer. So and pineapple pizza. I know Finestro doesn't like.
Well, he'll have to go see Queenslander for that one.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not getting involved in any of that crap.
Oh, well, until both me and Finestro come down to Sydney and like basically throw slices of pineapple pizza at your house until you come out and have a slice with us.
Wow, that'll be a lot of pizza you're throwing. An awful lot.
We're
truckloads of the stuff.
Here's his response to that. Yeah. Yes. Maxie, have you ever been to the New Year's Eve fireworks like that in Sydney?
Yeah, I have, maybe 3 or 4 times. Way back when I was lucky to get a perch in one of the apartment buildings that's just to the left of that shot behind the Opera House. So that was pretty damn amazing. You just stand at the balcony and look out straight at the bridge doing that. I've snuggled down amongst the millions of people around the harbour once or twice, but of course, it's not something to do since COVID got in our faces.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Still,
I bet it's almost like daylight, isn't it? Yeah, well, you Aussies are
not really. I mean, it's a big harbour. It takes a lot of light.
Oh yeah. Well, I was about to say though, I mean, it takes a lot of lighting, but I bet it gets pretty light, you know, when they're shooting all those fireworks at the same time.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty, but you know, you've actually got to camp out there like at 6 a.m. for the midnight fireworks, or you don't get a decent seat. So
I don't.
well, no, you don't, because you just lean out your balcony. But
Yeah.
Or even just look
When
at.
you have those fireworks in Brisbane, Australia, Angeles?
We have them in your DM. Well, your DM
Oh,
plus
let me go look at my DM.
13 hours, 14 hours.
Yeah, let's see.
So add
Okay,
14
well,
hours time onto that picture, and then yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that up here just so everybody gets an idea what Angelus looks like, what it looks like outside Angelus's window. There it is. So that's pretty cool, Angelus. I swear that's pretty cool. God, you guys even got mountains in the background, way back there, looks like.
Yeah.
is that the Glasshouse Mountain?
Well, I know they got.
Either that or Mount Cootha. Because that's sort of the south side.
Well, I was underneath Mount Warning the other day. Not directly, of course, but that would be too hard.
Yes.
We need a tunnel.
Yeah, that's right. That's a pretty nice view there, Angelus.
Mount
And then the
Warning
yellow.
is the first spot in Australia that gets the sun every morning. If it's not cloudy.
Oh, yeah. That looks nice. What's that river running down through the middle there?
Brisbane
Where all
River.
the where all the boats will sit and fire the fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like a little what we would call embarcadero there, or what? Or in the harbor? Is that's not a harbor? I guess that's just just a few buildings on the
there'd
river.
be ferry terminals and whatnot.
Ah, okay.
Like
yeah.
Melbourne would have tram stations, and we'd have ferry terminals.
Okay. Oh, that is a really nice view right there. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. Although I have a pretty nice view here. I mean, I go out my backyard, I can see what we call the Hog's Back, which is and Lee's familiar with this. You know, it runs all the way down from into New Mexico all the way up into Wyoming. You know, so it's a pretty long set of mountains, but. Okay. So anyway, we also talked about fireworks, and we mentioned that briefly. I don't think you, and I think we all agreed, at least at that point, that fireworks is not something that's going to happen in Iron City, because anything that flies is going to get shot down. You know.
Yeah.
By the defense system and the Centurions, you know. So
well, even then,
man,
even if you don't shoot it, it's kind of a fire hazard.
So I shared this image
right.
with Angelus the other day, and he's like, "What's the cost for interstate shipping?" Because he wanted it. And then I opened up Facebook this morning, and I get no, that's my son. I didn't get that.
Oh, he's
What is
good
that?
looking
Pizza
guy.
in a jar?
Why did it jump to that picture?
No, it's that's got to be Vegemite, man. That's a Vegemite jar.
Yeah, it is.
Pizza
That is
flavored
Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Just let me grab the other picture. Hang on. It's for
It's-
some
it's
reason it's
Okay.
not opening the one right next to it. It's opening a random one.
So basically, it's telling you what you can put Vegemite on.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put Vegemite on
Yeah.
pizza, in particular pineapple pizza,
Don't think I could ever put Vegemite on a
or
Pizza
put Vegemite on
No.
roast chicken.
maybe roast chicken.
Well, I don't eat meat, but I guess if I was going to eat
I
chicken,
really
I think I
wanna
could
eat
put
that right
Vegemite
now.
on that.
Pop that in the comments.
Oh, Creek, you've got a bot in here.
Oh, I do. Oh, yeah, I do. God damn it, these people. Jesus. Yeah, I was busy looking at that Vegemite.
So yeah,
Thanks for catching that.
Australia's branching out in our uses of Vegemite.
Oh, with cheese
Yeah.
and stuffing.
Oh, in addition to those bots that come out with that, you know, those sex sites, you know, if I even see a bot that has I was watching a football game yesterday, and it was a guy had some political posts in there. If I ever see that on my stream, I'm gonna block that one too, because I don't want to do politics on Alita streams, you know. So.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, they're not going to do fireworks in Iron City.
No, I mean fireworks kind of work.
They could fire them off the bottom of the dish.
When you have a river or barge to do it, yeah, sure, but right in the middle of the square, not so much.
No, not going to happen. Yeah, although they might shoot fireworks, as I mentioned a while ago, they might
Badlands
shoot
might have
fireworks.
So, I mean, they're open. They've got open space, so they could minimize the fire hazard that way. But different place.
Well, the scrapyard has a river because we've seen it in the manga, but Iron City didn't seem to have one.
Yeah, you didn't have that. Yeah.
Well, they mentioned it in the novelization. Apparently, that bridge that Alita and Hugo were on, I guess, was at least in the novelization supposed to be over a small river that ran through Iron City, but I guess it never showed up in the movie. So.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The more you learn.
Well, I know. Well, the creek is going to be in Austin, Texas, in 2 months. I plan on going there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. I'll take some video and photos. You know, that'll be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I looked up the Troublemaker Studios. They have it looks like that they are open to the public. Am I right about that, Maxie? I mean,
I heard something about tours.
I do know that Enigma Seeker went down there and he couldn't get in at one point, but this was several years ago. I don't know about now. And I do know that if you're a corporate, you can hire out the set for like parties and stuff.
I'm corporate. There you go. Maybe we all have a Alita gathering there. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that Eddie McTrigger was always trying to swing that, but then he kind of fell off the scene. I hope he's all right. I haven't heard from him for ages.
I do too. I hope he's okay. I mean, he's a Facebook friend too, you know. I mean, I haven't seen a post or a tweet from him. I mean, holy
I'll go on record to say that I'm glad Corso's back there.
I don't believe I know him. Was he one of the originals?
Sorry, yeah, she bowed out of Twitter a while ago. But came back maybe within the last few months. Pretty much like maybe 1 month tops prior to John Landau's big reveal.
Wow. Well, I know Chibi Gaines was in the Alita Army for a while, wasn't she?
Yeah, but then she buggered off for good reasons, and well, as in good riddance reasons. But what is it? Corso might have just been like she's, to me anyway, the equivalent of Maxie in the terms of like a long-term leader army member sort of thing. Like she was there even before me. Basically, just someone that was in the fandom before I was.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, well, she certainly was in there before I was, because Angelus, you were there before I was, so
not
by
by
a few
much,
months, I
yeah.
think 6 months. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Little did we know that we'd get into the Elite Army, and all of a sudden we start doing streaming.
3 years later.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a hoot ever since. You know, Maxie, I know you've talked about, you know, your Radio Chaos's first stream. You should have seen ours was just as bad. You know,
everybody starts off on the bottom end and works their way up.
That's right. The Creek was bad about pushing the wrong button on that stream. So anyway, You know, it was a lot of fun though. We had fun doing some of those early streams, that's for sure. No, not that we don't have fun now. We definitely do, you know, but you know, it was kind of a hoot back then. You know, we keep screwing up, you know, and stuff like that. So, but I think fireworks from Zalem, if the government of Zalem, if you could call it that, they could sanction or they would permit fireworks that was controlled by them for the residents of Zalem. But the people in Iron City would also see them because they'd shoot them off, you know, off the side, you know, or something like that, you know, or above or whatever, you know, so they could probably still see them, you know. But I don't see them doing fireworks unless they were some black market guys that had fireworks and they shot them off and then ran like hell. So
well, the outlying settlements would probably be able to do some fireworks.
Yeah, that's right. They would. Yeah, they probably would. You know, getting them would be a challenge, but yeah, they could do it, right? So
yeah,
seems to me they'd have to be a long way away though, because you remember in the manga when they shot that big rail gun, not rail gun, that on that rail car, you know,
that
they shot
massive
that
cannon.
big, what? Yeah, that 16-inch gun or whatever they had.
A hang cannon.
Yeah, that's right. Shot that thing at Zalem at the.
Well, the shell actually got pretty close before it hit that field.
Yeah, that's right. And then what they had that.
And the outlying settlements would probably be maybe a dozen miles away or something like that. That seems like it'd be, you know, far enough away.
Yeah.
I would think anyway. Yeah.
I reckon if there was any settlements nearby, there would have been some busted windows.
Mm.
Yes. Near that cannon when that thing shot that damn what was it, a lightning bolt or whatever that thing was they shot at that cannon. They didn't like any kind of threats, did they?
Nope.
So anyway, but yeah, I guess the fireworks, unless you're like you were saying, Lee, unless you're in an outlying settlement, they're not going to let you shoot fireworks in Iron City, particularly. They're not going to let you do it.
Well, they might let you do the little tiny, like the Roman candles and stuff, the little ones that you can use at street level.
Yeah, poppers and stuff like that. Yeah, they might.
Yeah, the little ones that spin around the pavement and shoot out sparks. That'd be about it.
Yeah, they might. You know. Yeah, they wouldn't allow you to do too much more than that. And of course, you get some enterprising devil to get the gunpowder out of those things and try to put together a weapon. So I don't know. They'd probably control that pretty heavily, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, is Corso coming back? Is she coming back? Lottie says she's coming back.
Yeah, that's
that right,
the
Maxie?
person I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corso was on one of the early live streams. I think she lives in Romania or somewhere around there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we need to invite her to one of the two streams and let her come on again, you know, if she wants to come on, you know. And yeah, we don't talk about Chibi, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I guess she left about the time I got on, I think when that happened. So, well, anyway, that's another story. So,
and
any other thoughts you? Oh, go ahead.
Well, funnily enough, I've got a few that I'm about to share.
Okay.
Hang on just a sec. Is it that one? No, is it that one? Yes. So some Creaky's oldest videos. I'll just load up that one. Embarrass him a little bit.
Oh, God almighty.
Oh, enough with that.
All right.
Ads.
Yeah, skip the ads. Yeah.
I can't. It's only the one ad, but it goes for 15 seconds and annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. You ought to
get what about 7,999-year-old powerlifter?
That's 335 pounds right there. And that guy that has his hands on there, he's not helping me with it. He's a paraplegic. That's about, he's always spotting me, you know. But yeah.
That's some of Gary's old videos. And then, who the hell is that?
Oh my God.
The Army Podcast #1 2019, the the rear. The year.
Oh man,
the
nobody
year.
told me this is an embarrassment stream.
This is the first one, right?
Well, let's embarrass Odd John
Or
here.
an early one, I guess. There's John Hoots, yeah. Odd John Hoots, yeah.
Scrolling.
Who was that?
I think that might be Thingo.
Is that Eddie?
Eddie, yeah.
Yeah, that's Eddie.
Well,
Yeah.
Eddie's his little Thingo's down the bottom there's got his name. There's Maxie again, John. Where's good old Foxfire? Because he's down there as well.
I remember that guy with very deep reflections, very interesting with religions and with numerology aspects of the films. Very interesting comments.
We'll pull up. We'll pull up our first stream too.
Well, it's kind of
what the hell was
timely
he holding
because
up?
because
wow.
our first stream was this time of year. So
Yeah.
But if you want to see more of that, you have to. Oh, stop sharing. If you want to see more of that, you have to come on and check it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna pull up our first stream. Let's see where. There it is. I think. No, this is the first one. No, this is the first one. Okay, I got it now.
Yeah, I had
Lost
trouble
that
finding
bad
it
boy.
or determining which one it was. So
Yeah, this is the. Now this one, let me pull that guy up because this is the very first stream that we had that we did here.
did
We
he go
had
for?
Lottie on. I'm not sure. Let's see. It was a 3 hour and 17 or 18 minute stream. So anyway, as you can see, there it is. So hopefully you can see it. Yeah. So let me make it a little bigger here. Okay, so Lottie, there's just what we did, way back when. But Vladi, we did our very first stream was Vladi had come up with some pictures that he had taken of Hot Toys Alita. So we talked about that quite a bit, on there. Of course, we can always
Was I
talk
late
about
again?
HP Alita. There's no. I don't know. I think you might have dropped off at one point. I'm not sure though. I don't remember. I think you did come.
there I
Yeah,
am.
there you are. You're back on now.
Alita is the best
Alita, the
waifu,
best
so-
waifu. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then here's some more. There's another Hot Toys Alita of one of Lottie's shots. And let's see what was funny about that is when you signed on, you said, why is all this happening? And I told you, well, it's because I'm pushing the wrong buttons. I remember that. So anyway, yeah, I guess you get the idea. There's one of his shots of Chibi, or not Chibi.
well, I guess
Alita.
in a way, yeah. I think Chibi's like young or child or small.
Yeah, and he was
Japanese.
showing us how to replace her hair, there. Vladi, this ought to bring back memories, huh? This was on 2020 on November the 27th, right after Thanksgiving, I guess, here. I remember him talking about, where was on this one? See, her eyes are a little bit crossed. He had a hard time with that. He said it's hard to adjust her eyes. So anyway, but it's a good stream. We had a good time on that stream. We did. We have a good time in all these streams, but yeah, that's cool. That was cool. So at that point, Vladi had to get off, so it was just Angelus and I at that point. So and then
I'm just
Foxfire got
seeing
on.
all the
Yeah.
names in the live chat. Finestro was there back then. Charlie.
Jay, a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marino
Ooh,
was on
Max
there.
Tech.
why did I
Was
do
Max Tech on there? Yeah, there he is. Yep, he was there. He was in the chat.
You saw it.
So-
I'm out grocery shopping at the moment. Hey, Flynn.
Oh, this thing we had 166,000. We got like over 177,000 now. So anyway, it's just me and Foxfire at that point. I think you dropped off again. And then we did this. We talked about making a sequel, why you'd want to do it, why we want it, all that kind of stuff, and why we better get it, or else we're going to get medieval on Disney's ass. So there you are. You're back because Alita is the best waifu. We used to kid Dan quite a bit. You remember that, Angelus, about who was the best waifu? We used to get
Alita, or
because at that point he liked that. Yeah. Android 18, that's right. We used to no, Android 18 is not the best waifu. Alita is. So Disney was there. Look at that. Well, Disney comes back from time to time. So anyway, that's that, guys. I mean, so we had fun doing that stream. That's for sure. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so anyway, I guess we're coming up on 2 hours here. Anything else about you guys? Any of you might have ideas about how Alita or the residents of Iron City, or Zalem for that matter, how they might celebrate the new year?
Well, at least for Iron City, I think heavy drinking would be involved, certainly.
Yep.
I can see
the Canvas Mars.
I could see just lights because that wouldn't be flying technically.
Yeah, that's right. They could put up. Yeah, they could put up like what we do Christmas lights, right? They could do stuff like similar to that. As a matter of fact, I think that we talked about that last week. I think because there was that one scene where Hugo was riding his cycle past that one restaurant. And they had lights hanging up in there. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to extrapolate from that, hey, they can put lights up. I mean, here we put lights up for Halloween. I mean,
well, any of the three major holidays. We do Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's.
Well, I've even seen people put lights up for like Easter, stuff like that. Yeah, but not many though. That's not usual, though,
Well, that, and you also got I think it's the 5 different districts of Iron City, and each one of them has a mix of cultures in it. So you could have all kinds of different stuff mixing up in there.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Oh, good point.
It would be interesting. Yeah. It'd be interesting to walk from one district to the next just to see the difference in the decorations. That would be interesting, I think.
Yeah,
I guess I'll
I think different parades.
Yeah,
I think people from Asia, people from Africa, people from Central America and South America, people from North America, all they could have different parades, remembering some cultural aspects and some ironic image of the culture of every people there. I think it could be a very interesting nature of different culture there with artists elements representing in parades.
Künstler 99 thinks that Alita would celebrate New Year's by collecting some bounties. Yes, she might. That's a good point. More money. Yeah, Vladi, that what we had a while ago, that was the first stream. Absolutely was. Yep. Yeah, that was a fun stream. We really enjoyed that, even though I didn't know what I was doing. All right. Anything else, guys? Any last thoughts, I guess?
I would like to mention something.
Go for it.
Yes, these little streams and this very interesting episodes. There's a lot of gentlemen, but women is very, very few. So I think it's something happened because I think there's a lot of women fans of Alita too, but I don't know, maybe they are not so common to have in these very interesting live streams. I think it's something happened. What do you think?
Well, I know we still got Cran. Cran still is in the elite army. So is Rotten. Or UFO virus or whatever she calls herself these days. I think she still is. I think from time to time, Amy is. She's more of a DC person, but she loves Alita, and I do see her doing tweets, with Alita subject matter in it, on Twitter from time to time. I see that. And let's see, there was another one too. There's mostly guys. There's no doubt about that. That are in the Alita army. Maybe that's because Alita Zulu, right, Angelus? So maybe it's that. Maybe that's a good part of it. And
I remember some video very special. I would like to mention. She made a video of a lot of the stuff that they have bought about Alita, books, cartels, and manga from different languages, books, and long plays, and many stuff. It was amazing. I think that girl had more merchandise than any store in the world. I think it was great. That video, I like it very much.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I hope merch comes once we get that green light too. I hope we get even more merch. Going back to the other thing, I know there's a lady named Rita that she always leaves comments on my videos. She's in the Elite Army now. I don't think she's on Twitter. I think she's on Facebook, or Instagram, one of the two. And then there's another lady on Facebook called Alita Gary. There's another one, and there's 2 or 3 of them on there on Facebook. So I think mostly it is guys. My guess would be that it's 75% guys, 25% gals, if you want to think of it as that. But I think we have some ladies, in the Elite Army. I think it's mostly guys though. Angelus, any last thoughts?
No. Had one, but then went away.
Uh-oh. You must have had a senior moment.
I hate when that happens.
Looks like
maybe I'm just getting old.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Yeah,
sorry, who are you again?
That happens, yes. Chaos, any last thoughts? I think he had to step away. How about it, Lee? Any last thoughts?
No, nothing that really jumps out at me.
Yeah. Maxie, anything?
I was just going to say 2023 is our year.
Yeah, it is.
I predict a sequel announcement.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yep, that's kind of like what David's saying here. We're not ever giving up anyway, whichever way it goes. But we're going to get it. I think this next year is going to be our year. I think that's when we're going to get that green light. That doesn't mean we're going to get the movie by the end of the year. That's going to take a while to shoot that sucker.
Yeah.
But,
hey, they got to write the script first.
A couple of years. Yeah, they do.
Well, from what I understand, that's already been taken care of, actually, I think.
Or a good bit of the notes, anyway, have been written on it. So
yeah, at least
hopefully they've got, yeah. Well, as you can see, Alita sure loves her Uncle Creek. That's my niece, folks. Yeah, she loves her Uncle Creek because her Uncle Creek wants that sequel as bad as she does, as the rest of us on this panel do. That's for sure. Okay, so anyway, that's our queen right there, and man, I tell you, that lady is number 1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor. She's great. She brought Alita to life. Yeah, and I'll tell you, it sure don't hurt that she's pretty either. So, she's really easy on the eyes, as they would say. So,
and watching and doing number 2, she's my sister.
Oh yeah, is that right? Okay, well that makes me your uncle then, I guess. So,
Sure.
all right. God, my family's growing here. I'm telling you. So anyway, okay. Well, tomorrow on Radio Chaos, we're going to be celebrating our 3rd anniversary is Radio Chaos, and Maxie, are you or Angelus are going to be the MC?
Oh, it's probably going to be me. I gotta sit down and write a whole bunch of stuff summarizing the year. I should get on with it.
Holy mackerel.
Good thing we had the show notes ready.
Well, there's a change.
The show notes already? Well, I got it. Well, the Creek hadn't updated it yet because I'm going to be the stream manager. So anyway, we're gonna talk about. Well, we probably won't be limited to just last year, right? I bet we get off on tangents and go way back as far as that goes. What do you think, Maxie?
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah, we probably will. Yeah, probably.
At the end of the year, you look back. At the start of the year, you look forward.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So, God, look at that episode number 146. Go ahead,
Let me
Alondra.
tell you that I was checking again the anniversary number 2 with the highlights of the radio cow. Very interesting during the last year. Was very interesting, very nice. And I appreciate so much that you have made an Alexandria library of Alita in internet. I think it's absolutely great to review again all these very interesting leaf strings and radio cows episodes. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Great work.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, I think Maxie and Angelus can take most of the credit for that one, because the Crink is just like, I'm just like a fly. I fly around and mess with people. That's kind of what I do. But anyway, but we certainly, I think to your point too, this is one of the things I guess that John Landau, Cameron, and Robert Rodriguez and Rosa, they know we exist. They know what we're doing. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they've seen some of the videos the collective, all of us in our elite army have done, and some of the streams we've done. Because we get a lot of folks in the elite army that are putting out videos. And a lot of folks. Well, we don't have a lot of folks doing streaming, but I know Chaos streams from time to time. But there's more. Well, we just lost him. Holy mackerel. But there's, they know we exist. They know. I think they know us. They know who we are. That's why Rosa gives us a shout out every now and then. That's why John Landau, he gave us a shout out. Way to go, Alita Army. And that last interview he did. Who was that guy that he was doing the interview with? Because that guy was kind of negative about Alita for a while, wasn't he? So. That last guy, I can't remember his name now. Anyway, doesn't matter. But they know us. They know who we are. I think so. But
that's great.
Yep. Okay, so anyway, join us tomorrow for the Radio Chaos anniversary celebration. We're certainly going to talk about everything that's happened this year on Radio Chaos. And probably not just Radio Chaos, the entire Elite Army. We'll probably have a lot of good stuff on there about that. Certainly, Maxie, probably that newspaper article or that ad should be in there, I think. So
Maxie and I may or may not be either drunk and or recovering from a hangover. So.
Well, that would be unusual for an Aussie not to be drunk or recovering from a hangover, wouldn't it?
I plan to do a heavy lift tonight. I don't know about you, Angelus.
Oh, nice, Maxie. Nice.
I don't go drinking anymore. I go lifting.
I'm going to do a bit of a heavy lift myself, if you get my meaning.
The keg.
All right.
Like
yeah, all right.
Instead of dumbbells, it'll be pints, but same thing. Drink a pint, fill me up. And then I switch arms, drink a pint, fill me up, and then switch arms, alternate between each one, so I get like even.
How many reps is that going to be, Angelus?
Well, depends on how many pints I
You're
can
going to
drink.
go to failure. Yeah,
He's
you're going to go to
he's going for an
failure, right?
endurance lift, I believe.
Actually, why alternate hands? Why not put one in each hand?
Yeah, that's right. Do a
There you go.
superset.
Two-fisted drinking.
That's right. Nice. Okay, folks. So anyway, you see episode number 146. Holy mackerel. We're one day that's going to be, because, you know, when we get that sequel, we're not going to stop. We're not stopping. I'm not stopping. I don't think Maxie and Angelus are going to want to stop either, because after we get that sequel, we're going to want another one. So, you know, that's what we're going to do. So, okay, wrap this up. Why is this image here? Well, it's because the Creek likes it. And I'm running the stream. And to paraphrase Grishka, I am only here for our girl and the Alita Army. And all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl. And we want our girl to get that sequel. That's for damn sure. So, okay, fellers, unless y'all got any last words of wisdom, we're going to do our call to action. Any last words? Okay, on my count of three, let's. Oh, go ahead, Angelus. Yeah.
I might butcher the pronunciation, but Ol Nagati Kamae.
What?
That's Navi for I see you.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go see that movie Sunday. That's for sure. Yeah, getting ready for that one. So that's gonna be great. I'm gonna see it in 3D too. I would love seeing it no matter what, but I want to see the first one in 3D. I want to have my head knocked off, as they would say. Have you seen it yet, Lee?
No, I haven't gotten the chance to.
Alejandro, have you seen it?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll all get to it eventually. So anyway, that's another thought. All right, on my count of three, let's do the call to action. 1, 2, 3.
Film
sequels, baby.
Sequels, baby. All right. We'll see you next week on the Alita live stream. We'll see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.